We're starting this video on day 2 of our little jaunt around southwest Western Australia. It was in the high 30s yesterday afternoon when we picked the van up from the western suburbs of Perth, and unfortunately, due to that temperature, I managed to give myself a dose of heat exhaustion, and as a result I had a really rough night in the van. I didn't get to explore the gorgeous Preston beach, which is where we spent our first night. Karen managed to though. From Preston Beach, today we have pushed all the way down to the south coast to this place called Walpole. We're taking a short walk around the campsite, and not only do we have some pink corellas to keep us company, but we've got these rays in the water. There is a fish bait chopping table off to our left, and from what the locals are telling us, the blood that runs off that table comes down into the water, which is a source of food for the rays.
We're about 30 metres up in the air at the treetop walk in Walpole. Let's mark up ahead of me. It's a long way down. And the bridge, which we are walking on, you can see some of it over there, is really bouncy. So eyes ahead and all of that. We've just crossed the highest part, 40 metres above the forest floor. This walk is a very bouncy suspension bridge. It's actually raining here in Western Australia this morning, and it's Mark's birthday, so this is how we are celebrating Mark's birthday. You probably hear the wind and the rain coming down. Thank goodness for waterproofs.
It's hard to believe that as we were driving down from Perth 2 days ago, the temperature touched 42 degrees whilst we're in the car. And look at it now. This morning we visited the treetop walks at the Valley of the Giants, and we've since pushed on to the green pools and elephant rocks. And look at the weather. It's blown hooly and it's raining. There was some brave soul down on the beach having a swim in a wetsuit. We're going to confine ourselves to a walk around the beach and the rocks. We only spend one night in Albany before deciding to head back north, hopefully in search of some better weather than what we've experienced down here on the south coast. We take the main highway north until we see a sign pointing us down the Stirling Range Scenic Route, We follow the scenic route probably for about 15k before we give up. It's a dirt road and it is really badly corrugated, so rather than getting ourselves completely shaken to pieces, we turn around and head back towards the main highway. We push on further to a little place called Pingrup, and in doing so go through some really bizarre landscape. The area is dotted with hundreds of little salt lakes. Pingrup is an odd little place, seemingly deserted, but housing an outdoor collection of rusting farm equipment. We don't hang around too long here. For the evening we decide to stop at Lake Grace. This is a small town but with more evidence of civilization, including the all-important hotel with the bottle shop, although bizarrely the woman serving in the bottle shop was from Northern Ireland. Quite a place to end up, really. And a bit like Pingrup, the locals do seem to like exhibiting weird things in their gardens. We do get to enjoy a gorgeous sunset while having dinner. Lake Grace is very much a farming town, and just outside town there is a large grain storage and rail loading facility. And when we got up this morning, this train was in the process of being loaded. I had a short chat with the driver who told me he was nearly done and that he'd be on his way fairly soon. And here he is now heading off to the west. He didn't get very far though, he stopped soon after this and blocked both of the roads heading north out of the town. But that's okay for us because we're going east. We've not long left Lake Grace. The town is actually named after a large salt lake off to the northwest, and the area around here is dotted with these salt lakes. So we thought we'd stop and have a closer look at this one. It's quite small and I don't think it's got a name. The weather, well, it was drizzling earlier, although it does appear to be brightening up now. Our drive today is continuing in a northward direction, generally heading towards Kalgoorlie, but we won't be getting there today. The roads are pretty damn deserted, so I thought I'd stop and get the drone out, see if I can capture the sense of isolation out here. Unfortunately, whilst I was out of the van, I was absolutely inundated with flies, the great outback curse. So it's fair to say I was pretty damn pleased to get back inside again. Next stop for us is Wave Rock at a place called Hayden. You can figure out, I'm sure, where it got its name from. This is one of those tourist attractions that comes up in all the guidebooks, but it really is in the middle of nowhere. It would take some dedication to come here. We're only here because it's sort of on our route up from the south coast towards Kalgoorlie. There are a couple of trails here, so we obviously walk around the bottom of the rock and check out the wave, and then take the trail up over the top, where Karen comes across a lizard. I'm not sure exactly what type it is, but you can see it here in the video. Another trail here is the Hippo's Yawn Trail, which we also take. This is a bit longer, I think this is about 5 kilometres. So it's a good stretch of our legs, which is badly needed today because we're doing a lot of driving. We encounter this beast of a spider on our way around. I've no idea what sort he is. Just a few kilometres down the road from Wave Rock is Mulca's Cave. There is an Aboriginal legend around this place, but we're here to see the handprints and stencils that are painted on the walls and roof of the cave. Apparently there are over 450 of them. Home for the night is a place called Kalgoorlie Rocks. It's going to be a wild camp, as you can see. Finding this place wasn't so easy. It's a few kilometres off the main highway and the directions we had were quite out of date. But we found it and we're glad we did, because it's a cool little spot. And we share the place tonight with 3 other camper vans. The video here is quite deceptive because it looks really light, but actually it's quite late and it is getting quite dark.
This is the view that we woke up to this morning. This is our first wild camp since we arrived in Australia, purely because of logistics. We like getting off the beaten track and not staying at campsites where possible. But this is the first opportunity we've had, and this is the view that we woke up to. We're going to go off for a walk in a minute up to Kalgoorlie Rocks. But yeah, what a spectacular place this is.
We take a hike up to and across Kalgoorlie Rock. The rock is a 71 hectare granite outcrop, and because it is rock rather than soil, when it rains the water runs off. And so back in the old days of horse and car and steam trains, the water was captured and funneled into a reservoir. After exploring the rock and the surrounding bush, it's back on the road. Well, back on the dirt road to start with, and then back on the main highway heading east towards Kalgoorlie. And it's not too long before we get our first experience of a proper big road train. On arrival at Kalgoorlie, we find a campsite which is a few blocks out of town and is quite frankly underwhelming. But once established, we take a drive into town and have a bit of an explore. Kalgoorlie is a mining town, and that is its only reason for existence. But we have a wander around anyway, and eventually find a decent hotel to go and grab a cool beer. What does one do in Kalgoorlie, which is a mining town, other than go and visit the Big Pit, or the Super Pit, or to give it its proper name, the Fimiston Open Pit, which I'm pretty sure is the second largest open cut gold mine on the planet. So we booked up to a tour, and here we are. Our tour guide, of course, is regaling us with lots of facts and figures about how big everything here is. And those dump trucks, apparently they carry about 240 metric tons per load. And in this view, those little white dots are pickup trucks.